Hello and welcome to Investing Testing. This time we're going to be talking about fundamental and technical analysis. On the screen right now, it's also talking about quantitative analysis. And I think that is essentially looking back in the history of charts and seeing how it will go from then on. Maybe even looking at the history of the fundamentals, the history of the company itself, and seeing how it's going to how to use that to predict the future. But I have not learned anything about quantitative analysis. The courses I have done have taught me about fundamental and technical, and we'll get right into it. So let's begin by talking about technical analysis. It is essentially looking at charts to find patterns to be able to predict where the price is going to next. The most basic of that is talking about support and let's go to educational ideas, supports and resistance lines. So let's have a look here. And I didn't actually search in through here, but you can see I'll get a nice one coming up. This is easy to see. So here. So somebody here has decided to place, this isn't so easy to see. It's not a very good line. But essentially, let's talk about, so the resistance line is the line at the top where it often goes around a round number. For example, imagine this resistance line being at 1, and then the support line is the line at the bottom, which prevents the price from going on any further under. And like we could say that is 0.9. It's often a round number because psychologically that's what people are used to doing. They're used to rounding the number to a certain point. And this is not a very good example of it. But essentially, if you have this information and you can actually see over time, I mean, you can see here that over time the chart is going up and down, although this isn't very clear, but you can see that the chart, and this is a better example, often would go up and down in a certain area and would bounce off a resistance or a support line, and it wouldn't break that until something happens, until it gets to a point where there's some good news and it breaks through, or if we're just looking at the technical, maybe there might be some triangle that you manage to find and it will break through. Now, technical analysis can be used for predicting the future based on people's behavior. Now, what I mentioned with the resistance and the support lines, that is the basics of technical analysis. When you actually dive deeper, you can see there's a whole variety of different things you can check, and you can even see, like, if I just quickly grab a chart, and then we go into the full featured chart, we can see here that I've got a variety of things that I'm looking at, and you can see here the RSI, which tells different information from the actual price of the chart itself. And you can use a lot of different techniques, and you can look at a lot of different patterns to determine where the price is going to go next. And the only reason that is possible is because of people's nature, that there's this kind of like, the most useful thing is to learn the top patterns that people search for, or like I do, I just use TradingView and see what other people think is going on, and you're able to actually kind of see how the chart will go depending on people's behavior, depending on how the strategies that we're using. If people weren't using these at all, the chart would be all over the place and it wouldn't work. But it only works because people believe in them. And that's why I don't like to rely completely on technical analysis, but there's the Forex, for example, when you're buying and selling currencies, this is where technical analysis comes into its main element, because it's the only way you can predict where the price is going to go through Forex, unless you really knew the country, or it was a very small country with very small amounts of companies. For example, like South Korea, it has a huge percentage of its GDP coming from Samsung. So I suppose you'd be able to understand which direction that currency is going on based upon how well Samsung is doing. But generally, if you look at a country like the UK or the US, and you have a variety of different companies doing well and not doing well and going up and down, it's hard to keep track of everything. And so there's through Forex, there's no way you can really do fundamental analysis. The best way would be just to use technical analysis and hope that it works. So a lot of people, and you'll notice as well, from experience, I can see that when people are playing in the Forex market, they don't produce so much profits. You can easily see that if you look on eToro and you look at the people's profile. Feel free to argue with me in the comment section and tell me why the Forex is really, really good to play. Personally, I don't like it because I do rely heavily on my fundamentals. We'll get into what the fundamentals is soon. So we have TradingView, where we can actually have a look to see different charts. If you're wanting to look at, for example, Bitcoin versus US dollar, and you're wanting to see what other people are thinking about this at this particular time, you can have a look here, down here, the ideas section, and you can see what people think. Here's a nice one. Oh, this guy thinks bullish until 50k is broken. Broken a while ago. Oh, I see. Yes, this guy thinks that 50k is the support line, which I actually agree with him. I'm a little bit afraid myself that if this drops below 50k, you can see here where it's 50k. Well, you can see my mouse is around 50k mark, and it hasn't dropped down below 50k for a while. Yeah, it's been going up. It's been quite nice. Looks like let's see how Bitcoin does in the future. But you can see here through this technical analysis, you can see that this guy already thinks that the support line is being broken since he's probably made this chart. I guess this is when he made the chart, and you can see that it's coming back up again. And yeah, so I'll be pretty confident to buy Bitcoin around this mark, to say that okay, it's going to go up because of all of the technical analysis he's done here. You can see all the lines. You can, the support and resistance lines he's actually put in here. So yeah, you can look on here. This is a very handy website to actually see different people's ideas of what's going to be happening. Honestly, I haven't done much research into all the different patterns. It's easy enough just to look on here and follow other people, because of course other people are going to be following the same pattern, which is essentially what we're looking for. Because if other people are following the same pattern, then it means that other people are going to be trading the same way you are, meaning that if you are one of the first, then you are going to be making a bigger profit in the long run. Now, with that sort of mindset, if we go over to Finviz here, I've not really used Finviz before because I've not been trading a lot. I traded when I first began on the stock market, but then I stopped and I completely invested because I wanted to research more. And That's the main reason why this channel exists, because I want to be looking into different things. But this Finviz can be very powerful website. My trainer my trainer that was watching when I did the course, he used Finviz a lot. I'll be able to put a link in the description below. He's not affiliating my video, it's nothing to do with that. I just want to, because I think it was really, really good, and he managed to teach me a lot of things, and I was just thinking that maybe you guys would want to be interested in understanding all of that. He uses Finviz a lot. So we go over up at the top here. We can go to, they've got a fundamental tab. Okay, that's cool. You got EPS growth, yeah. But we'll go over to technicals, right? So we'll look for something which has gone down below its 50-day low. And we'll say that we're going to look at something that's gone down 50% or more above low, below high. Okay. Let's just put new low. All right. All right, 50% or more. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so we're going to grab this. Now, this is the tricky part, because you need to make sure that your broker is doing this, doing the same thing. So you get your broker, and you can see that. Oh, I see. Okay, I'm going to admit I don't fully know how to use this website. Yeah, but I would suggest that you experiment a little more with this website and have a look at the different categories you can go here to actually bring up different stocks, and you can use that to find specific stocks that are performing in a certain way that perhaps will make sure that you are able to have a profit afterwards. So it may be at the lowest it's been in 50-day low, but I'm very confused by this because it's 50% or more above low. Maybe 5% or more above low. Maybe that would mean that it's starting to climb its way back up again. That looks like it's going down. And so you can see here that you got, so a lot of these are like quite low, meaning that they'll probably start going up. 50 days. You got March there, and February is really quite low. But essentially, you can use this information. You can say, okay, so I'm expecting this to go up. And this is all done with AI. The AI will actually put all of the technical analysis in it already. So the AI is expecting this to go up. Of course, this is like the low, I suppose. That looks like it's a resistance line. But it's expecting it to go up. So then you can go in, and you've got a lot of information here. But just check Finviz out. It will probably help you a lot. Let's go over to the fundamentals, because the fundamentals I find I rely on heavily, because let's type in Tesla here. This is investing.com. Investing.com would help you quite a bit to understand what's happening in the world. So you can go to news and analysis here. This is the most useful information. So 32 minutes ago, there was some news came out that's saying that here's how much you'd have now. Okay, that's useless. Right? You want to be looking for some major news like Musk's anti-union tweet from 2008 must be deleted. US Labour Board. Yes. Okay. So the Labour Board is demanding he deletes his tweets. That was 14 hours ago. And you can get the most latest news coming through here. It's quite funny when you get the most latest news and it says yesterday when it's actually the same day. This website will give you on the dot news. So you have a lot of information here. You can have a look at the dividends of Tesla. You can have a look at the balance sheet. You get a lot of information to be able to understand how well Tesla has been doing. Has it been going up? Has it been going down? Generally, the company itself. I'm not talking about the share price here. And the good thing is if there's some news that comes out, say even if you get the quarterly report come out, then it could help understand how well Tesla, for example, is doing. You can, of course, every single company that actually is on the stock market will actually give out their quarterly earnings through their website. So here you can see investor relations for Tesla, and you can see here that you can download your quarterly earnings date. You have all the information here and the press release, and you can download here. So I quickly downloaded earlier the quarterly earnings, and you can see here there's a lot of information, and all of this information should tell you how well Tesla is doing, for example. But it's not just, I mean, when it comes to fundamental analysis, the reason I enjoy this so much is it's because you're constructing a story here. And there, of course, there's the characters in this story. So it's not just, like, for example, Tesla, you're not looking at pure numbers here. You're also wanting to know how are the managing directors doing. So you can search out their managing directors profiles. You can find out how well they know their industry. Of course, everyone knows that it's Elon Musk at the helm, and he's relatively good at what he does. I don't totally agree with, I mean, I wouldn't currently, with the amount of money I have to invest, I would not invest in Tesla, mainly because I have a feeling that when you look at the fundamentals, it's a little over-invested, and I'm a little unsure as to whether solid-state batteries will be able to take hold of Tesla's lithium-ion kind of market hold, because there's soon going to be a battle between solid-state batteries and lithium-ion. Tesla is trying to upgrade lithium-ion, but I don't know whether it's going to be enough to be able to push to be the next major technology. But that's a separate topic for a different video. If I ever make a video about Tesla, I probably will not. There are other companies which I think are far more interesting. But that's not to say that what I think Elon Musk has done is amazing, and if it was 10 years ago, I probably would, if Tesla was around back then, I don't know how Tesla is, but I would probably invested. But as you can see, you have a lot of information you can get hold of, especially through invest.com. You can actually bring in the balance sheet and the cash flow and the ratios. They pull this information from these charts and they put it in for you. Of course, if it's just release documents, then, and you understand how to read these documents, then it can be that you can read these much faster. Of course, you have your major hedge funds who are actually using artificial intelligence to scan these documents to pull out all the data for you, so you can do it in seconds rather than as human beings reading it for quite a long time and trying to figure everything out. Of course, as human beings, we can see more things than what a computer can. However, when it comes to pure numbers and pure analysis, then a computer probably would be much faster at being able to pull through all of these numbers than a human being. That said, so that's what you're competing against as well. It's good to try and I'm wanting to get into creating some sort of artificial intelligence and working alongside artificial intelligence in the future, but that's the future. For now, I'm wanting to learn a lot more about the stock market and other ways of creating money. Okay, what have I missed here? Yeah, so I talked about, yeah. Oh yes. Also, when you talk, if I go back to Elon Musk or looking at the the people that are in charge of a certain company, then you would want to know what motivates them, just like you would in everyday life. If you wanted to understand somebody and you want them to just understand where they're going in life, what they're going to be doing, and how to understand whether you can trust that person or not. You have to understand fundamentally what motivates them to do things. Why do they do what they do? I mean, even if they're psychopathic and they don't have any empathy for people, you still can see that there's some good things that can come out of this. There are many people who have that condition who have managed to achieve great things and have been great people. But that's the thing. But you've got to understand what motivates them to go in that direction. And yeah, so with fundamental analysis, you can understand the market. Also, yes. So it's not just the company that you've got to focus on, it's the market that they're in. It's basically, you're doing a whole business analysis here. You're looking at how fundamentally that business will do. Well, will it do well? Will it not do well? Will it go bankrupt? Will it go sky high with its stock price? You have to figure out how to predict all of that. And there's a tremendous amount of data you can be looking through. And so it's suggestible, if you are investing, the fundamental analysis is the main thing. And if you are investing, you will need to know the company that you are investing in, like you are an owner of that company, because you are an owner of that company. If you own a share in that company, you are an owner of that company. It's your responsibility to know every single bit about that company. You can find, there's one website which I haven't actually mentioned, which is called Glassdoor. And through this website, you can find out how I'm coming off that. You can find out how that company is doing from the inside by actually seeing how the co-workers think, what the co-workers think about that company. Because through Glassdoor, they actually write reviews about the company they're working for. So you can find out about the culture of that company, about the psychology of how they work, about how the structure of the hierarchy works, and how much benefits they give to their co-workers. And let me tell you, if their co-workers are happy, that company is going to do a lot better than the company where the co-workers are not. It tends to go towards people having independent thought and independent feelings on how something should go. If they have that freedom, that independence, then they are surely going to do better than just being told to do something and do it like a robot. Because people, they are our greatest asset at the end of the day. But that's why I find fundamental analysis so fun, and that's why I find it to be so important. And you can argue with me in the description below, like I said before, but I think fundamental analysis is a lot more important than technical analysis for sure. And of course, you've got to understand the competitors. So you have to understand who else is doing what they're doing. In Tesla's viewpoint, that's also the other car manufacturers, Nissan or Toshiba, and all of those other companies. Oh, wait, that's a lot of manufacturers. Sorry, all the car manufacturers, Peugeot, who are investing now heavily into producing electric vehicles. And not only that, but Tesla actually, you can also look at Tesla is based around the lithium-ion battery. And there is also, you can look into the markets of the hydrogen fuel cell. You can look into the solid-state battery, like QuantumScape, I think it's called. Let me have a quick look. QuantumScape, which is actually invested by Bill Gates. Bill Gates have invested heavily there to begin with. Unfortunately, you cannot. Yeah, the future is electric vehicles are here. Solid-state battery, solid-state lithium metal batteries. So yeah, you can't invest in this because Bill Gates has already put lots of money into this. He's ridiculously rich, isn't he? But he's one of the main people that came and invested in it. And you can see the energy density here is much better than lithium ion. These are going to be competing against the lithium ion batteries that are inside Tesla, and Elon Musk is going down the route of trying to improve the lithium ion battery technology, mainly because he made a massive lithium ion battery plant, one of the biggest in the world. So essentially, you can look at the competition. This is another reason why I don't necessarily want to be investing in Tesla, because the future right now in electric vehicles is a little bit uncertain. And I honestly believe that lithium ion batteries is just not cut out to be able to keep up with the market. But I'm hoping you guys actually are interested in all of this. Otherwise, I'm probably boring the hell out of you. But yeah, and of course, you've got to understand the dangers that are involved in investing in a certain company. So that's also fundamental analysis, looking at what sort of obstacles could be coming in the way in the future for the company. Of course, for Tesla, an obstacle would be solid state batteries becoming a big thing. And Tesla may have to make a choice. Do they continue down having lithium ion batteries and keeping their lithium ion battery business going, or do they say put up their hands and say, put up the white flag and say, hey, we're defeated, we're going to go down the solid state battery route as well? And what would happen if solid state batteries do take a hold and Tesla refuses for a certain amount of time and doesn't change their cars to take in solid state batteries? And also, what's going to happen to the business where they made a massive lithium ion factory? That's going to pull down the stocks. I don't know whether Elon Musk has separated that from Tesla, but even if it is separated, it will still be pulling down the Tesla stocks because they're closely linked, because the batteries that are produced in that factory are producing batteries for the Tesla car. And you can see that with anything. If you look at, you can actually see in some ways, you can actually invest in a business that is producing a certain technology for a larger business, and their stocks will be reflected by the larger stocks and vice versa. Both of them are connected. And so all of this will help you see what sort of dangers lie ahead. And really, you need to figure out the story. You need to figure out people's motivations, why things are happening, how the people on the market are going to react, how customers are going to react. Just put yourself in the position of a customer. Maybe you are a customer of that company, and so you have a better understanding of what you would want personally. And personally, instead of a Tesla, like for example with me, instead of a Tesla, I would go for a different type of car. I've forgotten what it's called now. I was talking about it before in a different video. I hate it when I have a mind block, but I got it here. Aptera. I would be investing in this vehicle instead, because they are really trying to push the forefront of what the technology can do. And if you look at the company directors of this company, they were originally the engineers that produced the original Aptera car. But it's a long story. But the story of this, for this vehicle, is a fantastic one. For this company, is a fantastic one. And this is why I find fundamental analysis exciting. So of course, you'd probably find, if you were looking at trading versus investing, and you were wanting to invest, you would have to know all about the company. I've already said that. But if you were wanting to trade, then some basic information, some basic news will probably help you with the fundamental analysis. With trading, it's mostly heavily leaned upon on the technical analysis of the patterns I see in the charts. Let's see, technical analysis on the patterns you see in the charts, or maybe you'll find some technical analysis on Finviz to be able to support you, to be able to figure out which one will be more profitable. But yes, as a trader, you will be relying more on the technical analysis than the fundamental analysis. But at the same time, it's always nice as a trader to look out for some big news. And you can see it here. Let's see news here. So we have specific areas. So let's look at stock market news. And then you can see the most recent news. India will not extend 22 for fuel. Okay, that's car makers. And you can keep looking down to see if there's anything of interest. Worsening pandemic forces Santander Brazil to retreat on office returns. That was 48 minutes ago. So I wonder how new this news is, because you could possibly look at the Santander Brazil stock, and maybe you'll expect the Santander, because of this news, the Santander stock will plummet. You're expecting it to plummet. You can see that it's not really affected the stock at the moment. The stock is fine at the moment. This is very new news. It was 48 minutes ago when it came out. So perhaps it will plummet. And if you think it's about to plummet, if it's a strong news saying basically like, oh yeah, we're going to see this thing is going to go down, and this is the news, then you could be like, okay, I'm going to put a short on this stock because I'm expecting it to go down. So that's how you can use fundamentals for trading as well. But when it comes to actually investing, and we're looking at technical analysis, I think you may want to make a little profit in the same way you would with trading if you were to look at the technical when you're wanting to buy in and when you're wanting to come out. But apart from that, I mean, if you think the company's going to go well, you may as well just buy it whenever and just wait for it to go up, and based fully on fundamentals. The time that you would completely use technical analysis would be completely for Forex. I think that would be the only time I can think of. Maybe you could comment below to say if there's anything else you can think of where you'll just completely use fundamentals, completely use technical analysis and nothing else. Anyway, this has been a really long video, but I kind of had a feeling like I should be making this a little shorter. But I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I didn't go too much into the whole Elon Musk and everything. And Tesla. I hope I didn't go too much into that, but if you're interested in all of that, then I hope you enjoyed hearing my view on it all. Anyway, I hope to see you on the next video, and I'm going